Morning, guys. Eric Johnson here. And Van. He's playing a game back there. So, the question I get a lot of times is how I track my macros. And, do I pre-plan and all that junk, Yeah. I figured I'd do a video on what happens every day, plus what happens once a week. Just to give you an idea of actually what I do. So, we'll start with weekly. Basically, I go to the grocery store on Mondays after work. So, after I pick up Van, we go to the grocery store. You'll see, the typical HEB shopping video usually. So the night before on Sunday evening after we eat dinner, I'll sit down with the boys and we'll kind of go over what our dinner wants to look like all week long, right? So, typically we'll want to do a burger and some sort of Mexican dish. And then, it really depends on what the week's looking like and what they're in the mood for, et cetera, and I'll throw out some ideas, maybe some photos of some stuff I've seen on Macro Magic or some other guys eating online or whatever, maybe we'll watch the Food Channel or whatever, down our drive-ins and dives or something, and where is it? It's early. Oh. So anyway, so we'll get the whole week worked out. Usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Because they usually go to their Mimi's house on Fridays, Saturdays. So, straight from school. So, there's no point in pre-planning it with them, right? Then once I have that figured out, I go and I do my grocery list for the week. And then I figure out what I'm going to do for my food the rest of the week. Or the following day, really, is what I do. So what I'll do is, let's say it's Sunday evening, right? We do all that, and then now it's Monday. Now I gotta track for Monday. What I'll do is look at our menu for Monday, and let's say we chose burgers, right? I'll build my burger and my side and all that junk in MyFitnessPal on meal number 5. And sometimes meal number 6 will also be part of my dinner. Like if it's like a Cali mash or a soup or something, it'll be like in meal number 6 down at the bottom. And sometimes number 4 will be added in also. It just depends. But anyway, so I'll go in and build my dinner and everything. And then my next step is to go up and if it's a training day, which Monday typically is a training day, I'll put in my post-workout. And that's going to usually be, 2 servings of a whey or a casein. And that's usually about it. I usually just put those 2 items in just to take care of the protein and the small amount of carbs. And then later I'll come back and I'll fill in there, as you'll see in a minute. So after I do that, then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do for lunch, and that just depends on what I have on deck. If I've got like a steak, if I have plenty of steak rolls, I'm gonna make a steak roll Sammy with some deli meat. If I have tortillas and I ran out of steak rolls, or vice versa, I just kind of play it by ear. I really don't look for a big lunch, so it's either gonna be a taco or 2 tacos with some deli meat, or a steak roll with deli meat in it or something. Usually you see what I eat. Y'all see what I eat for meal number 3. It's usually on the road and I'm sitting here smacking right now while I'm driving. Okay, so after that's done, now I've got meal 2, 3, and 5. Good. So the only thing left over is my breakfast and then my little midday snack whenever I get home between, my lunch and my dinner. I like to have something when I first get home before I start prepping dinner. And that can be anything from ice cream to salted caramel kamut to waffles to, a lot of times what'll happen is I'll get so many dang requests of, you know, making a video about something, which I love having those requests, by the way, guys. So I'll use that meal to plan to make that video. So let's say, like, for instance, the POV cookie, right? Everybody's dying for this POV cookie. I've been eating a POV cookie a lot of times on meal number 4, trying to get it just right. I'm trying to perfect that thing, right? So that way, you know, I can give the instructions properly. And then I'm trying to, it's just real timid. I'm trying to figure out a way to keep it from being so timid. It's really what I'm doing right now. The ingredients is down pat. So that's what I do with meal number 4. So that one's going to change up a lot. It could be anywhere from a POV cookie to a POV crepe to a high carb meal. Like today's going to be a high carb meal because I had plenty of carbs left over. And then, so if it's something I'm going to film, I'll go ahead and put that one in first. So if it's POV cookie, I'll put in the ingredients for the POV cookie and everything. And then whatever I have left over, now I'm looking in the morning. So now I go to the morning and I set up my breakfast. And I try to do a pretty high volume breakfast. If it's a non-training day, I might skip breakfast altogether and just do one of my POV cinnamon roll shakes. Or if I just in the mood to just have some carbs, I just have a bunch of carbs and I'll have a POV cinnamon roll shake. Or I might have a POV cake with some stuff. You know, I'll change it up. You see what I have for breakfast. I change it up all the time. And then there's always leftover carbs and proteins and fats. So at that point, I just kind of fit them in. If I got 10 or 15 carbs, I might add them into my post-workout meal with some frozen strawberries or something. And that's whenever it changes from either being a shake or a straight up POV protein to something that has some carbs in it. You know, it kind of changes it to that point. And sometimes I'll be like, I'll have, you know, something going on and I have to kind of merge two together, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how I do it. I plan it the day before based on what's going on that day. And that way I really don't have to think about it. Now, sometimes, occasionally, it does change to where I have to go in and, you know, modify some things or whatever. That happens. That's all right though. Ain't no big thing. I think that's it. So I went over the weekly. You know, we go over our weekly menu, and then I go over and I do make sure I do my dailies. And that is it, guys. I hope that helps y'all out. If not, ask away, and you shall receive some answers, hopefully. Later. You want to say bye, Van? He's busy, caught up in his game. Later, guys.